After a year of being on this journey, I'd like to provide an update as well as discuss some of the insights and realizations I've gained along the way. I began my journey in February 2020 because I was tired of being a loser who just masturbated and got high all day long. This pain, which had compounded over the years, prompted me to make this drastic change, which included not only ceasing masturbation, but also giving up sex and drugs for an extended period of time. So, like everyone else, I started looking for videos about it, reading through books, viewing all of the occult information, and hearing from people from all over the world who were talking about it in different cultures. And it gave me power in the beginning, when the addiction was still strong, and I was still feeling on the precipice of the two worlds, which was a powerful feeling. Whenever a desire to ejaculate or call a girl to have sex arose in me, I used to go to this subreddit or watch a video on semen retention, and it would put me right back on track. It provided me with motivation. Also encouraging me to continue on this path are the numerous benefits, ranging from mental clarity to a reduction in sleep quota. I sleep 4.5 hours per day, increased endurance, creativity, willpower, charisma, and a host of other advantages. Among them you are already familiar with the story. But what I want to talk about today is how I believe that the more you retain, the more the veil is lifted, and you are able to perceive things for what they truly are, whether it's people's true intentions, or your own shadows and traumas, or anything else. The ability to retain your seed and the ability to have a deeper understanding and to read between the lines aren't something I'm sure is directly related to one another. Alternatively, I am a more analytical person. Whatever the case, after a long battle with the most primal human desire, namely sex, after a while, I began to feel like a superhuman when I was among mortals, not in an egotistical or superior manner. Simply knowing that I was able to defeat the most powerful force in the universe, which had led a great number of people to prison, committing adultery, raping, and engaging in other criminal activity, gave me a sense of serenity and confidence in my abilities and willpower, and it completely transformed my perception of myself. For the first time in my life, I recognize myself as a man, which is ironic, because while many people believe they are men simply because they have a dick between their legs, the sad truth is that you must first become a man. And only a small number of people ever attempt to be one. I began to observe my thoughts and refrain from acting on them without engaging in any form of meditation. The ability to separate myself from my thoughts and body has only recently been acquired, and I've discovered that thoughts come and go as quickly as they go, and that emotions are constantly changing, and that many of them have no basis in reality and are driven by our distorted perception of reality. Most of the time, it is not the outside world or the people that makes us angry, sad, or unloved. Rather, it is our own thoughts and perspective on the situation that causes us to feel these emotions. While our American spirituality teachers tell you that it is beneficial to feel sadness and anger, I think this is completely ridiculous. Because you are the one who is bringing it into existence. It is impossible to have an emotion unless it is preceded by a thought, so why would feeling angry or hate be considered healthy if it is stemming from your distorted view of reality and the meaning you place on whatever situation you find yourself in? If you are living your life consciously, why would you ever be angry or depressed in the first place? This is why I became fascinated with Eastern philosophies, particularly Buddhism, which go into great detail about emotions and how to avoid being controlled by them, and explain how the only thing we have control over is our minds. People can do anything to us, but nobody can ever force us to think thoughts we don't want to think, and they explain how our thoughts and emotions are linked in an infinite feedback loop. It was at this point that I began to see things and people from a completely different perspective, including myself. I came to the realization that we are simply animals driven by our addictions. And 99% of our actions are impulsive rather than deliberate. We gorge ourselves on food until we are sick just to experience a brief rush of dopamine. We smoke and drink only to feel blissful for a few hours before crashing and returning to an even darker place. We go to the gym, try to dress in fashionable clothing, have money just to be able to attract female attention, and ejaculate until we feel like a dead man after about 30 seconds. I began to realize how much time and effort we devote to social media and people pleasing, and that 99% of our actions are motivated by a subconscious desire to fit in and be accepted by the group. While being able to witness all of this may appear to some to be a negative development, it is, on the contrary, a tremendously positive development. For the first time in a year, I was able to transcend a significant portion of my animalistic nature, which was previously completely in control of me. This was made possible by the contrast and ability to observe with curiosity and detect repeating patterns in people's behavior. Being able to watch people go through life living in mediocrity and being controlled by the outside world and having their well-being always tied to what happens in the outside world, also known as Maya, feels like having a secret cheat code. It makes me feel extremely grateful that I was called to be on this path in the first place. I don't want to make this post too long. It's just a few thoughts that I felt compelled to share for whatever reason, and I'm curious if there are others who feel the same way, or if anyone has any deeper insights that they'd like to share. I'm also open to any questions you might have.